They keep on reinventing themselves with each release, while still keeping their original sound, their core sound. And this is something really amazing about Anthos. And in this episode, let's talk about Anthos Q, the new entry, or let's say the first entry in the new CD season, Human or Doll. So let's kick off this episode of SEIYUU Lounge. Welcome to SEIYUU Lounge, I am your host Vanessa, and in this episode let's talk about Anthos Q. This is the first release in the new CD season, Human or Doll. This of course is an amazing CD. Amazing. Once again, as I said in the intro, they keep on reinventing their sound, but still the core is the same. If you listen to their first CD, the vibe is still the same. They have just perfected everything else around them. The vocals are much better. The sound is being polished with each release that they make. This is something that I love a whole lot about Anthos, and makes me continue to say that they are amazing. They are a group that you should check. Of course, I'm not here to preach anything because I feel that the next couple of minutes will be enough for that. I'm going to bring a snippet of the monthly review episode from Q1 2025, which was released a couple of weeks ago or months. I don't know when this episode is going to drop. I'm recording them ahead of time. So we are going to revisit that episode and see a little bit more of what I thought about that specific CD. And of course I will let you know that I was really fresh out of listening and reviewing the CD when I actually recorded that video. So from this point on, the video is going to be viewable, or the episode is going to be viewable, and then I'll meet you in the outro for another voice-only part. So yeah, let's go to the next part. Then we have Anthos with Q, and as you may already know, I'm a massive fan of Anthos since the very start. It hasn't changed, and that's because they keep on making me love them. As if that was a big problem for me. But yeah, they are so amazing right now. We are in the Human or Doll series, which is the 4th CD season, although the band or the group is around for longer than 4 years. And they have a really interesting sound going on right now. They have explored a wide variety of subgenres within pop music and EDM, but most of all, they have been a sort of an ethereal, I would say they have been all about their ethereal sound. Regardless if you are having that ethereal sound in a hip-hop song or in an EDM, a really bass-heavy song, or a really interesting ballad, or a sweet tune, or even a funky song. So they have been doing a little bit of everything, but still they keep their essence, their identity, and that is basically the ethereal vibe that they bring since the start. I love that since the start, and this is something that I said when the group debuted, and I keep telling you this time and time again. They have a sound that no other group or other 2D group has. Although there are groups that sometimes venture to something akin to their sound, they don't keep that consistency throughout. And Anthos does really good when it comes to that consistency, and even within that main theme or main sound that they have, they usually keep that, of course, and explore completely different music genres with that at its core. So you can always say that this is an Anthos song because the vibe is there. Even if we are hearing or listening to a hard-hitting, bass-heavy song, or we are listening to a really funky, groovy tune. So you always notice where Anthos is because they keep their identity. And even if they change, and they change a lot, the composers for their music, they have already worked with almost 10 different composers throughout their discography, and they have something really good going on because all the composers are ensuring that the sound is cohesive and there's continuity across CDs, even if the composers are different from CD to CD. In this case, we actually add in who actually worked with the group before. So there's no problem whatsoever in there. Basically, the composer already knows what to do with Anthos, seeing as they worked with Anthos before. And what we got was a really interesting set of songs. Honestly, this is one of the most exciting releases of the year so far, let's say so far, because we already have another CD already out by the time that I'm recording these. And I'm really, really excited about it because I was listening to it and then I had to review a couple of other CDs after, and my mind was telling me to actually go back to Anthos Q and listen to QED again or No Drama, because those two songs, oh boy, those two songs are really awesome. I need to go into detail in here because, first of all, QED has a really interesting instrumental, but at the same time, what actually stands out to me the most is how the vocals keep you guessing. Usually their song is structured in a way that you have the solo parts, then as you are building up to the chorus you have the main vocals teaming up, you have the rappers teaming up, and then you have the sub vocals teaming up. But in this case they are shuffling between each other, so you don't know when basically you are going to get rap part or even a belting section with the main vocals leading the way, because they are not paired up in that way this time around. And this is something that really kept me quite excited about this song, because I didn't know what to expect, because everyone was singing and they were taking turns but mixing members of each subdivision within the group, or let's say subdivision in the way that we are talking about the sub vocals, the main vocals and the rappers, but they were actually shuffling between each other, and it was quite awesome to see that dynamic, because usually you notice that there are a couple of differences between some members. Some sing better than others, which is obviously something that will happen in a group that features some of the best singers among male SEIYUU, and then other singers with less experience or with less control when it comes to the vocals. But in this case, they were actually tete-a-tete when it came to the performance, and I didn't notice any drops in quality on the vocal end. Every single one of them was performing with so much power and so much quality that I couldn't help but be really, really excited about the performance itself. So I was really excited about QED, but when No Drama entered the stage, that was awesome. No Drama is a perfect mix of 90s hip-hop tune with an early noughties R&B pop music, or pop tune, let's say. It mixes the best of both worlds, and actually, as I said, it features a rap part and a really normal, let's say, singing part in R&B style. And this is unbelievably good. You have turntable elements going on in here, so you have a lot of scratching as if the songs are being mashed up in real time, which is a nice detail. And you have that allied to the really groovy deep bass beat going on, as well as the really punchy bass line as well. So the song is really, really bass heavy, and I really found it, of course, really fun and interesting to listen to. I'm a sucker for a good bass line, and if you have so much bass going on in the song, of course you need something to contrast it, and you do have something to contrast it, so you need to actually check the song. And it works pretty well. So the song is fun, the bass contrasts really well with the vocals. There's a really sort of nostalgic vibe for me, of course, because I grew up listening to that music. So for some people maybe born in the 2000s, maybe the song won't sound nostalgic to you, and maybe you are saying that the song sounds retro, which is fair enough. You can actually call it retro, which is weird because the 90s were not too long ago, and the noughties certainly weren't too long ago. But yeah, that's me already going off the rails when it comes to this conversation. But yeah, No Drama is a really interesting song. I felt that it was the best one. Once again, the B-side track is the best one in an Anthos CD. It never fails. And this time around, QED was really, really good. But No Drama for me takes the cake because I like that nostalgic 90s, early noughties sound. And especially because I love R&B music a whole lot, and they actually deliver that. They have the vocals to deliver that. So I was quite excited about this song as soon as it started playing, because the sound felt completely different from usual. And then when the vocals started, I was completely into this song. Well, I still am thinking about listening to it again, but now I'm recording this, so I cannot go and listen to it again. So Anthos really exceeded themselves when it comes to Q. I feel that it is kind of a statement entry into a new season. They are more confident, they are more mature, their sound is getting more perfect with each entry, and they are starting to polish every single kink that they had. And they didn't have many kinks to their sound and many kinks to their performances, but right now they keep me guessing, and I like it a whole lot. I was not sure what to expect in QED, honestly, because the vocals were constantly changing from the main vocals mixed with the rappers, mixed with the sub-vocals, so I didn't know if I was going to get a leading part with belting or if I was going to get a rap part, so we got sort of a shuffle style of performance in which there was no dedicated parts to any specific subgroup within this group. So it is really interesting to see that they kept us guessing, and I really like that I was expecting stuff and they were trying to break my expectations by, now that you are expecting the belting, there is no belting, there's the rapper singing as well. Now that you are expecting the rap, actually the rapper is the main vocal. They are doing a little bit of everything. They are showing and showcasing, I would say, versatility first and foremost. Then they are keeping us guessing by subverting the formula that they had up until now. They are keeping things fresh, and I love this a whole lot. On the other hand, No Drama is the type of song that I could have listened on the radio back in the early noughties or late 90s, and I would have said, yeah, this is an R&B pop song through and through. It even sounds really retro like those songs back in the day. So even the production side, the mixing side, and then the mastering was made so that the song sounds dated on purpose, and it was really well done. I like a whole lot how they started the song with an a cappella. This is a sort of a characteristical a cappella that R&B pop music used to have. It's not that common nowadays, but it used to have in the late 90s, I would say 90s and late 90s specifically. So I would say this is really awesome as a release, as a full-on release. I was kept guessing, and I was really excited about what am I going to get next? What are they going to pull off next? As always, I was expecting an amazing B-side track because Anthos usually nails all the B-side songs. There hasn't been one B-side song that I said was their worst song in a CD release. I don't recall at all. There have been releases in which the two songs are amazing, but usually the second song is a tad better than the first song. So the main side is usually a bit weaker than the B-side. In this case, I feel it was exactly the same. The B-side was much better than the leading song, but the leading song is really good. I was not expecting anything in this CD, honestly, and I don't even know what to expect in Species. I'll let you know that I'm recording this episode and Species has already dropped, but I have yet to review it. So by the time that this episode actually drops, maybe I have already reviewed it, but I don't know what to expect in Species because of how unique Q was. So that's my assessment there. Of course, I'm not going to keep on blabbering about this CD because I've already gushed plenty about it. I love the vocals, everyone was singing amazingly in this CD. I loved the harmonies, I loved the a cappella intro to No Drama. Honestly, this CD is really, really good. If you haven't checked it, please do. I would love to know which is your favorite song in this specific CD and what are you looking forward to, or if you have already listened to Species, which is also your favorite song in there, but I believe that Species will also be talk in another episode of SEIYUU Lounge, so I will leave that, I would say, for another time. So yeah, let me know in the comments on YouTube, and remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of SEIYUU Lounge. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the Handed Feeds HQ's weekly male SEIYUU and music related content, hit the subscribe button. And if you are listening to this episode on a podcast listening platform, please consider following the podcast and leaving a review. Leaving a review is really simple and helps other people find this podcast and fall in love with male SEIYUU artists and 2D groups. I'll return next week with another episode of SEIYUU Lounge. Thank you for listening and see you guys around.